While in Koper, we decided to do a day trip to Sečovlje, Salina, which is about 10 kilometers from Piran.
These are the salt flats, and this mud is actually good for bathing in, but we're not going to do that.
The salt flats are the largest coastal marsh wetlands. They encompass about 650 hectares.
Slanusha? Kaj to slano, lako to ješ? Ne, grenko je, yeah.
Salt is still being produced here today based on a method that's about 700 years old.
Here's the dam, where they can slow it down, and it's a series of locks where they can dry out the water and collect the salt. So here's the salt mines where they harvest the salt.
Salt was a very important commodity back in the Venetian times. Come to think of it, it's still important today. The phrase "not worth its salt" dates back to the Romans, who would pay their soldiers' wages partially in salt because of its high value. Of course, we had to get ours. And then we visited the museum where we learned more about the salt production. Salt in its many beautiful forms. Back in his time, all this was under Venetian rule. Back in Koper, we visited the church. And tucked behind this church is the Carmine Rotunda church dating from the 12th century. As I stepped into the church, all the memories came flooding back. This is the Cathedral of St Nazarius, which holds the sarcophagus of St Nazarius. It is richly adorned with marble and paintings and statues and frescoes. And confession booths. Oh, the memories.
From here, Father Boyan would do a sermon, and I would be sitting in there.
And the music, the sound of the church organ, and the bells permeating this whole place.
Okay, Mom.
Quietly, we lit a candle for Mom and Dad.
And this is Isola.
Later that day, Tamara and Nevis took us for a drive to Isola. Little do we know that they had a very, very special surprise for us.
Doing sermon at that church. Apparently he's staying in this home, kind of a retirement home. So this is the chapel, and that's the home that our Father Boyan lives.
I was trembling with anticipation. Would he recognize us after all this time?
In Toso from Canada. Alle de Canada.
Yeah.
Os compare francês ou?
Nee, no francês.
Ja, ik kon het voor man ne.
Pa 50 let i hoče Bojan.
Koliko?
50 let, ne? Se nismo se vas
Se
spomnili.
bom. Ja, ma tudi je Polović, ne? Se spomnim ko ste odhajali.
Ja.
In nam je bilo težko pri srcu. Ja, prav to. Ne, ja.
We talked and reminisced, and talked and reminisced some more. I remember him coming to visit us at our apartment once a week, and my dad and him would have the most wonderful discussions about politics, social events, religion, whatever sparked their mind.
Oni so hoteli možgane, srce od mlade ljudi. Ja.
In the chapel, we said a quick prayer as a thanks for such a wonderful encounter.
I remember him so vividly, and he didn't change. I recognized him. I know, his voice, his face, his hair.
As we walk on the path of memory, something else sparked.
And this is the only picture we have of a boat my dad had when we were in Koper, apparently. We just found out now.
Yeah.
And some of our memories are better than others. Tamara immediately knew where the boat building was, and she's going to take us there. It was along the Durnica River, just outside of Porto Roche, near the salt flats. We would have been at this age playing down by the river as it runs into the ocean.
Anna, pike! Pike it too, Kai.
Yes, I also had a mortal fear of those things. This shipyard here was around when we were building the boat, and we remember going on the boat, and Oka would bring us the motorcycle here, then we would go on the boat, first clean it up, then we'd go on the boat, catch some fish and barbecue them. So we're gonna go into the marina and see if it's still there. Yeah. This tree was here when we were here, probably over 50 years old. Yeah. This could be the boat. The marina was still there, and so were our memories. So this was something to do with working at the same time and the boats. Yeah, there behind us is where we used to barbecue the fish. And then we would walk down this dock. Like a pebble in the ocean, I felt a ripple propelling us forwards. It was time to go. We said goodbye to Nives and Tamara and followed the coast in search of our history.